From the beginning of the days that I started dreaming of gardens, I dreamed of having a beautiful carrot row full of carrots that I could easily go out and pull up out of the ground and just make piles of beautiful uniform carrots and take them into the house and store them. But sadly to say, our ground here in Missouri tends to make four-legged carrots and carrots with appendages that aren't supposed to be there, and carrots that are bitter, and on and on. But this year, Old Guy and I are hoping that we have figured out a good plan and a good way of growing some carrots for storage and use. The first thing we did was to drive our box truck into town and get a skid steer load of sand. It was probably about 1,000 pounds, but we only intend to use 500 pounds in this project. Then Old Guy loaded it into his little trailer that he hauls around on behind his lawnmower and took that into the greenhouse number 4. And it's actually a high tunnel that's about 30 by 100 square feet. And in the northwest corner, we decided is the place that we want to make our carrot bed. So he drove through the high tunnel and deposited the sand up in that corner. Next, he hooked the big tiller onto the back of the tractor and backed it way back up in there to the corner and started tilling. He went over this area about 3 times with that tiller and really tried to work in the sand, and each time he tried to go a little deeper so that it would be worked down thoroughly through there where we need the carrots to grow deep. And when he felt like he got it deep enough, then he was just showing me how far down it went. So pretty much the length of his hand, which is about 6 inches, and so that's about as good as we can do at this point. And Molly sure liked that soft sand. She wondered if something lived in there that she could maybe dig up. The next thing we did was to design the length and the width of the bed and go out to the barn and cut boards that were the right size. I think it's somewhere around 42 or 46 inches by 16 feet. Then he and I took the boards back and we worked at getting them together, and of course Molly wanted to help us like she always does, and she is good help.
Well, we have our bed made now, and I tilled it 3 times, and so now we are making a frame, and we're making it 16 feet long and 46 inches wide inside. And then we're going to push it against the wall and scoop our excess loose soil that we created inside. A tiller tills 6 feet, but our bed is only going to be 46 inches wide. So I'll have quite a bit of loose soil that I created by tilling the thing. And so right now we're just going to screw it together and set it back.
When we got the shape of the frame constructed, then we set it up against the edge and put it where we wanted it and kind of pressed it down the best we could. After that, we had to take all the soil from just outside of the bed and deposit it in, because we didn't dig the bed down into the ground that was there. We just pressed it down into that soft soil and then finished filling it up with other soil along the edge that still had sand mixed in with it. And then it was time to plant. Today I'm ready to plant the carrots, and I'm going to use this dandelion digger to make a line for myself in the soil down here. I've gone through and broke up the crust that was on top of here. It's pretty dry soil, but for now I'm going to plant in it dry. So these just need to be barely under the ground, and I'm going to try to plant them about 1 inch apart, but carrot seeds are tiny little things, and so it's going to be pretty hard to be accurate. I'm going to do the best I can. I've marked out 3 rows 6 inches apart, and I have these tiny little seeds that I have to try to put in here. And there's no way I can plant them 1 every inch, so I just have to do it about as thin as I possibly can. Carrots only have about an 86% germination rate, so if it's a little bit thick, it doesn't matter, and I will thin them out as I go. You certainly don't want to just make them as thick as possible, because you'll have a big mess on your hand and you won't get any carrots out of that. I brought some ground cover in here because I'm going to water this. It's very dry, but when I water this soil, it's going to make a crust over the top. So what I'm going to do is cover it with this ground cover, and it's woven. It lets the water through, but it will do a couple different things. It'll hold the moisture in there, and it will also keep it warm. And if they are a little warmer, they'll come up faster. So I'm going to spread this out down through here, and it's only on half the bed because I only have 3 rows. The other half, I think I won't cover.
Well, you're my baby, you're the one. Throw your arms around me like a circle around the sun. Well, you're my baby, you're the one. Throw your arms around me like a circle around the sun.
Now my plan is to spray this down with a water hose, and I won't do it too fast. If I see it's running off over that way or pooling up too fast, then I'll have to do it slower. It usually takes carrots about 2 weeks to germinate, and because of that, in 1 week from now, I'm going to take this off and see if anything's popping through. Until then, I'll probably water it a few times just to make sure that I'm keeping it moist underneath there. That will help them come up better if they're moist. In Missouri, our soil is pretty heavy, and that's why carrots don't do the best in Missouri soils. That's why we put the sand in the bed. The kind of seeds that I planted are called scarlet Nantes, and a Nantes variety is kind of a stockier, stubbier carrot, not a long, skinnier carrot like you might see grown up in the northern parts of our country. But because the ground is kind of solid, dense, the stubbier carrot can grow better and not branch out as far. If a carrot hits solid ground, it's liable to branch out and like have 3 or 5 appendages added to it instead of one straight carrot. So we're hoping for a really good carrot production on this, and I'd like to save this video until the carrots pop through, but I feel like it's needed right now because now is the time to plant carrots. I'll be showing you later on how they did, and we'll have a follow-up video about that, but for now I'm gonna say goodbye and try to grow some carrots and have a good garden this year. Thanks for joining me.
Just to be with you.